Recorded Books and One Click Digital present The Woman Who Walked in Sunshine by Alexander McCall Smith, narrated by Lisette Lecat. Chapter 1. It is important for children to learn about electricity. Mma Ramotswe remembered exactly how it was that the subject of taking a holiday arose. It was Mma Makutsi who started the discussion, with one of her inconsequential observations, those remarks she made apropos of nothing, remarks that had little to do with what had gone before. She often said such things, quite suddenly making a pronouncement that seemed to come from nowhere, her words dropping into the stillness of the afternoon air like stones tossed into a pool. It was mid-afternoon in the offices of the No. 1 Ladies' Detective Agency in Gaborone in late October, one of the hottest months in what was proving to be one of the warmest years in living memory. "It is very hot, Mma Ramotswe," observed Mma Makutsi, as she leaned back in her chair, fanning herself with a wilting copy of the Botswana Daily News. "When it is this hot, it is very difficult to work." From her side of the room, where, if anything, it was slightly hotter because of the pool of sunlight that penetrated the window and fell directly across her desk, the begetter and owner of Botswana's only detective agency cast a glance in the direction of her erstwhile secretary, later assistant, and now, by dint of the latter's sheer tenacity and perseverance, her colleague. In normal circumstances, if a member of staff said that it was too hot to work, an employer would interpret this as a strong hint that it was time to close the office and go home. When it came to Mma Makutsi's utterances, though, one could quite easily be wrong, and so Mma Ramotswe merely said, "Yes, it is very hot, Mma, very hot indeed." She knew that there was no reason for Mma Makutsi to stay at work if she felt inclined to go home. Following her marriage to Mr. Puti Radiputi, proprietor of the Double Comfort furniture store and owner of a substantial herd of cattle, Mma Makutsi had no need of the modest salary Mma Ramotswe paid her. Indeed, had that salary stopped for whatever reason, she probably wouldn't even have noticed it. Nor was she technically obliged to keep certain hours. Her contract of employment with the agency was a very informal one. So informal, in fact, that there was even some doubt as to whether it existed at all. "People who trust one another do not need to put things in writing," Mma Ramotswe had once said. "It is enough that they should have given their word." Mma Makutsi had been quick to agree. "That is very true, Mma," she said. But then, as she began to think about the proposition, she started to discern the problems that might come from a failure to reduce understandings to writing, no matter how well understood they might have been. "Except sometimes," she said cautiously. "You can rely on somebody's word in many cases, but not in all. That is why it is safer to have everything in writing." "I'm not so sure," began Mma Ramotswe, but Mma Makutsi was just getting into her stride. "No, you must almost always put things in writing. That is because people forget what they said, and then they start to rewrite history, and end up blaming you for not doing something they think you said you'd do, but haven't done. They never accept that they may be remembering things incorrectly." She looked at Mma Ramotswe reproachfully, as if the other woman were widely known to be one of the very worst offenders in this respect.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?